just when I want to get on live and do something. I can't find my stuff. There we go. What's up, my brother?
What's good? Good.
Nothing much. Just like I said, I ain't like I'm calling you out or nothing. Just I want to have this little talk. At least have this talking live, person to person about. But I feel like.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, hey, it's all good.
Nah, yeah. Here's the thing, though. It's like I don't mind y'all get on talking about the dusties and the crusties and the hoes and this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? Because the shit's true. But putting that in that mama's in the mama's hands like that, saying that she shouldn't have this, she shouldn't have that, especially being raised up as an older sibling. Just like I said, hell, she could have went over there and the same thing couldn't happen. You taking whatever you guys have got going on with these groups that we're making, and we're crossing lines. And me as a black man and as an adult black man just can't just sit back and say, yeah, I agree with that. You know what I mean? That shit was right, because that shit was wrong for real. Because if I was the victim and people talking about my mom says their fault like that, no, that's not my mama's fault. I did what my mama told me to do as an older brother. So.
Okay, so that's all right. So that's your position on it, huh?
Yeah, sure. We can go with that.
Okay, all right. Okay, well, here's my rebuttals. Here's my rebuttals to that. Just because we might have lived a certain type of life, or maybe we were latchkey kids, or maybe we might have looked after our siblings, doesn't mean that we cannot make correction in our community. And this whole mama can never do no wrong, that shit played out like the 70s. At the end of the day, right, maybe the mother could have went over there and maybe she could have got shot, but let's just be real. If people want to make this a racial issue, there's a possibility, there's more than a likely chance that they'll strike out on a black man faster than they'll strike out on a black woman. The statistics say that fact all the time, one. And then two, at the same time, for a kid to have to go pick up his kids, whether you did it or I did it, doesn't make it right. Just because we did it in the past doesn't make it right. And let's just be real. If the mother was a housewife, if she would have chosen to stay with the dad or the fathers of those kids, and she was the caregiver of those kids, then the son wouldn't even have been in this situation to even have to go pick up the kids in the first place.
All right, so let me ask you a question. You have any kids?
I don't.
Okay, so how is a man that don't have any kids in a position to tell you what a parent's what can do or is going to do?
Let me ask
you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, first of all,
because I'm speaking to you as a father, and I'm saying that, yeah, this is how I was raised. I was taught to be a husband in my household. How people say women are being taught to be wives in their household. I was taught to be a husband in my household. I was taught to provide, protect. You know what I mean? That's why, as the father that I am or who that I am, I can raise my kids as who I am. You can't tell me that somebody who has never raised a kid can tell another person how their kids should go around and move around, how they should direct them. Because like I said in the comments earlier, you know what I mean? I tell my kids to get groceries out of the car. A drive-by can happen. I tell my kids to take the trash out. Anything can happen. You get what I mean? So this is all going back to what I first said. We got the target. We know who to blame. But I don't know what you got against black women that's so tough to where how you do a complete 360 and bow face literally your moms, my moms, your aunties, all this other stuff, and say, oh, it was her fault for sending him over there.
Because it is. Because let's just be real. All right.
Okay.
First off, I'd like to address everything that you said, and then I'll pass the mic back to you. First off, you said, how can someone who has no kids tell a person who has kids how to raise kids? Simple. Look, simple. The reason why I don't have kids is because I chose not to have kids. Okay. Why you have kids, that's on you. Okay. But just because you have kids and just because you're a father doesn't mean that you'll be a better father than I am, because one thing that I've done was I made sure not to bring those kids into the world unless I was going to make sure that, look, that I or their mother was going to be the ones picking them up, not me sending my kids to daycare or sending my oldest son. Hold up, no, let me finish. Not me sending my oldest son to go do my bidding or my job. And then you mentioned as a father you're told to provide and protect. What does that have to do with your siblings or your children having to do the mother and father's job by picking up other siblings when those children should be spending their time in sports, they should be spending their time on education, and not even having the responsibility of being, even going to a strange area where they had to get shot by some racist white man.
Okay.
Now,
so what?
Now hold up, because remember, I'll let you I'll let you talk. So I'm gonna finish this, and then you have the floor.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned, well, if you send your kids for groceries, that they get shot in a drive-by. And you know what? As true as that is, that responsibility and the onus will still be on you as a parent. Why? Because no one told you to have kids and to live in a dangerous neighborhood that they could get shot in a drive-by. Now that kind of goes back to why I don't have any kids, because if I'm going to have kids, my kids are not going to worry about drive-bys or having, to have to, my son, or I got to get the stepdad or somebody to go pick up the kids. No, I'm going to pick up my kids, or my wife or my woman will pick up the kids. I don't believe Black people need to stop passing the buck to the killed children when the Black woman decides that she's going to remove the Black man from the home.
Wow. That is that. I mean, here we go. Okay, so you're going left field with that. So we're going back to how you broke it down, like being a protector, the provider part. Like I said before, I was taught that as a child. I was taught that as a teenager growing up. You know what I'm saying? So you're saying kids as getting their 3 or 4. When they get to a certain age of adolescence, there comes a certain level of responsibility. Like, do your chores. Taking out the trash is a chore, right? Right or wrong?
Well, trash is taking out is a chore.
Yeah, taking out trash is a chore, right? Getting the groceries from the car is a chore. You're doing your part in this family, or this pack, in this family. Now, when it goes to the point where you're saying you're not bringing any children into this world because of the neighborhood that they lived in, because drive-bys are current, right?
Well, that's not what I said. What I said was part of having the kids and planning parenthood is to make sure to give your kid the best life as possible. So if it means that, if you live in a ghetto, if you have to raise your kids in the ghetto, it might be better that you get more financially stable as a man to go raise your kids. That way your kids don't have to worry about gang violence. Because dude, I'm from LA. I grew up in a decent neighborhood, but the thing about LA is that if you go down the street, it's the ghetto, right? So I had to deal with certain things that I would not want my kids to ever have to experience. So just because my mama let me be a latchkey kid, or just because my parents let me kind of like have my way in LA, doesn't mean that I should allow my kids to have it. Because guess what? There's a lot of things that our parents did, and guess what? Because as the children of our parents, we are the ones who have to suffer for our parents' sins, and that's what I'm debating about today. So yes, kids should pick up chores and take out groceries, but when a kid is going to go pick up his siblings, now he is doing the parent's job. He is doing a parent's job.
So let me ask you this. So with this location, where did all this location happen? Would you consider this to be... wait. You don't know Kansas City.
I don't really have to. Here's the thing. I know one thing. Look, I don't know Kansas City.
Okay. It makes sense.
Let me ask you a question. Does that... All right, here's the thing. All right, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. All right, it could be... I'm from LA, but I live in Miami. It could be Miami. It could be LA. But if someone tells me to go to a strange neighborhood that I've never been into, because it doesn't matter whether you're from Kansas City or not, there's no way that you've been to every neighborhood, and here's another too. And by the way, I must say, I don't even understand the relevance of whether I know where the Kansas City or not is, because the bottom line is the kid went to the wrong address and he got his ass shot.
Do you know the difference between terrace and place?
Dude, I do not.
Do you know
I
the
never
difference
been to
between
Kansas.
terrace, place, or street?
Huh? Oh,
Do you know the difference between terrace, place, or street?
well, other than the fact that it's a terrace or a street, the different names. I mean, he obviously went to I think it was like Lane, and he went to terrace or something like that. But
Let me
I don't
ask
know
you
the
this.
specific
Let me
meaning
ask
of
you this.
terrace if that's relevant,
Let me ask you this. How many times was he shot?
dude. He'll shot more than he'll shot more than he should have been.
How many?
I
But
know
how
that
many?
much. I don't know.
Politically correct.
But
How many?
look, one too many. How about that?
Okay. All right. So
One too
where was
many.
the location where he shot? Because it feels like you taking off with this information and you got misinformation and
What
you can't blame
misinformation am
anybody.
I
You
getting
can't
for the
blame
fact that
anybody
he was
but your
doing his
mom
mother's job?
for living her normal life. You know what I mean? How many times she done sent the boy to the store at 16? How many times she done sent the boy to the store? How many times she done sent him to the
That
bus stop? How many times she done
does
done
not
this?
change the fact that he was doing his mother's job. That's
Okay.
my point.
Okay.
Like,
So
all right, for example,
you was raised with a
Alan,
two-parent household?
I was.
You was
But Alan,
raised
I'll
with a
say this
two-parent
much.
household.
Alan, I was raised in a
So
two-parent household, but
so
listen to this. I was raised in a two-parent.
because you got a lot of stuff stacked against you that just make, like I said, unrealistic because you're raised in a two-parent household. Okay, we cool with that. How
Okay.
old are you, by the way?
I'm 43.
You're 14. Have you been married?
I've not been married. I've
No
not been
kids.
married. I have no
No
kids.
kids. So why is it that the people that aren't in realistic situations always go back and find somebody to blame that is in
Let me
your
ask you a
aim is
question.
off.
All right,
Your
let me.
aim is
All right,
off on who to
I'll
blame.
I'll
So
answer that. I'll answer that with another question for you.
no, you can't answer with a question.
Okay,
I never
I'll
asked
answer
you.
that. I'll answer that. So let me ask the question. So all right, I have a question. Okay, you know what? I'll answer that. I'll answer that question for you. When you go to the doctor, right? Because or you go to the dentist. By the way, a dentist actually is a doctor,
Hmm?
but that's neither here nor there. When you go to the dentist, right, and he looks at your teeth and he knows that you have cavities, or he knows that you need a root canal, and he says to you, Mr. Allen, you need to get a root canal. So are you gonna say to him, oh well, dentist, because you don't have any cavities, or yeah, because you're the one who doesn't have the cavities, so that means you could tell me that I have a cavity? No, of course not, right? Because you know a doctor would have studied and made these observations. There's a reason why he's going based off of this. And one thing I could definitely say as a 43-year-old man is I've been on Earth long enough, and I'm able enough to read the statistics that show that most kids who are raised in a single parent household are more prone to be criminals, more prone to be sex workers, more prone to be drug users, are more prone to have a life of not of letdowns and not a very successful one. That's what statistics does say. And I must say, since we're trying to talk about, the fact that I don't have any kids and I'm not married and stuff, where in the Bible does it say that kids are supposed to take care of their siblings?
Let me ask you this: how many kids did Abraham have?
No. You see, we're
I
not
can't
gonna
ask
go
you
and
where in the
no. We're not
Bible.
gonna go. Look, we're not
Okay,
gonna
okay,
go
okay,
and
okay.
ask
All right, I
questions. Look,
got you. My bad.
remember you
My
said that
bad.
you don't
Take
want
it
me to
on me.
ask you a
You're
question.
right.
So answer my question.
My bad.
My question is, where in the Bible does it say that kids are supposed to do the parents' job?
Okay, so if you want to get technical about it, let's go to Joseph. Let's go to Joseph. Him and his two brothers. They went on a walk. They went hunting. Whatever they did. Well, you want to get in the Bible, this or another. And something happened to him. But where in the Bible does siblings have to take care of another sibling, right? Let's go to
Well,
Cain and Abel. Let's go to
wait,
Cain and Abel.
hold up, wait.
Huh?
See, hey, no, brother,
Huh?
we're two men. Let's have this discussion like men. I'm very versed in the Bible, so let's talk about Jacob and his brothers. Let's talk about Jacob's sons, okay? First off, Jesus himself asked Cain when Abel went missing. He said, "Where is your brother?" And he said, "Am I my brother's keeper?" Right?
Mm-hmm.
But dude, the reason why God asked him that is because you are supposed to look after your brother. But guess what? It didn't say. No, hold up. But it didn't say. Look, it didn't say that Cain was supposed to be Abel's father and do his fatherly duties. So let's not confuse. Let's not confuse things, and let's not get too off topic. Let's just stick to the point. The bottom line is a 16-year-old kid went to a strange place that he didn't drop the kids off of in the first place. Obviously the kids got dropped off by somebody's babysitter, or maybe the mom dropped them off. I don't know. But the bottom line is the kids to the point that he didn't even know where it was, and he went and got shot. And the bottom line is, I'm quite sure. And matter of fact, and I did a little research. Ralph y'all has a father, but his father doesn't have custody of him. If his father maybe had custody of him, he probably would have never got shot. But guess what? We do know that when the father doesn't have access to the kids, the mother gets more child support and more government benefits. This is something that Black women have been doing since 1965, since the Civil Rights Bill. You're shaking your head, but prove me wrong.
Yeah, of course. You know what I mean? I pay mine faithfully with a smile and ask, do you need some more? Yes, I'm a man. I face my responsibility. We didn't work out, but that doesn't mean that me and the kids didn't work out. Now, we can go and talk about his father. I don't know the answers to that. That's dipping too much into people's business. So I'm staying on topic. You're blaming
you know what? Well, you know what? It's funny you say that it's people's business, but you're into this white man's business asking about him being racist, because so far we haven't found out about him saying the N. Hold on. So far we haven't heard about him saying the N-word. We haven't seen any pictures of him in the KKK or anything. All right. All we have is a testimony of his grandson, who may or may not be homosexual. All right, who may or may not be homosexual. So guess what? Who may or may not be homosexual, he might have a different way about how he feels about his grandfather. So, like I said, so why can't we just say, you know what, this guy was just a crazy ass white guy, right? Because guess what? See the thing, Alan. I meant to ask you too. You probably didn't even watch my video about it, but in the video, I clearly state about how a Black man shot a 6-year-old just the other day, like last week. A young black man, about maybe 34 years old, shot a 6-year-old girl who may be possibly a Black girl, or possibly might even be a white girl. So what do we have to say about that?
You got too many possibilities and maybes in there. I go off
the race card on that, but or we could chop it up to people being crazy. So, but look, because we know there's crazy people out here who are gun-ho, maybe, just maybe, we shouldn't be dropping off our kids at strange people's houses and getting our sons shot.
Who dropped them at? Obviously, she dropped them off at somebody's house that they knew, for one, and for two, let's go back. But
guess what? Ironically, the son went to the wrong house, though.
You manipulated.
So that means that he had never been there before. That means that he wasn't familiar with the area.
Babies, was she Black or was she white? You never said anything about what happened to the Black guy, 30-year-old Black guy that shot the possible white or Black girl. I see what you're
what is there for me to say? I mean, he could be racist too, but guess what? Or it could just be crazy motherfuckers shooting people going down their property. Trust me, people shoot people going on their property all the time. But that being said, I believe that, guess what? If you have your kids, look, I believe Black people, we need to get back into, instead of kicking the man out, instead of not working the things out with the man, and stop working things out with the man, maybe, even if you don't want to be in a, hold on. Let me finish my sentence. Even if you don't want to be in a relationship with that man, then maybe y'all should work on co-parenting, because basically the only reason what the kid was doing was just being a son husband and picking up the mama's 2 kids from a new, hold on, from a new relationship. Hold on, brother, I'll let you talk, but you gotta let me talk. Why do Black women, or why our women are using their own kids to look after kids that they have with another man? If the woman can't take care of the kids, give the fathers the children.
Wow. Just wow.
You're saying wow because you know what I'm saying is right. You know it's true.
Look. Okay, so I got so many questions for you, but you won't let me ask them. We bobbing and weaving. But put it like this. You're saying give the father the children full time, full custody.
What I'm saying is,
No.
if you
You're saying give the father the children full time, full custody, right?
look, if you're gonna need your children to help you raise your own children, yes, the father should have the
So
children.
that
Yes,
doesn't happen when the father has the children.
this is what
The
I'm
father
saying.
is Superman. He can work. He can do double shifts. He can come home and do this and make sure everybody get up and go to school and everything. You know what I mean? He can do all of that without help because the father is Superman, right?
Let me. All right. You know what? The dad doesn't have to be Superman, but guess what? Why? If the dad's not Superman and the black woman is for sure not Superman or Superwoman either, why don't she work with the father? That way they both have custody. You know why she? You know why? Hold up. You know why she does it? You know why? Hold up. You know why she didn't? And you know why most black women do not share custody with the man? Because they'll get less child support. Right. All right. So guess what?
Mm-hmm.
So they have a financial incentive to keep the father away. So
I never said the system was correct. I never said the system was right. I never said it was. I'm not saying anything you're saying right now is incorrect. But put the shoe on the other foot. That father would have never asked young Ralph to go get his little brothers.
you know what?
Well, I got
You know
dinner
what? All right.
started.
Yo, all right. My dad never made me get my little sister. My daddy never made me pick up my little sister.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I gotta find a lighter. You over there smoking? I need my black. Hold on. Go ahead. I hear you. I hear you. But like I said, so you're holding yourself and your father and your family to a higher standard than everybody else.
Well, I'll say this much. This is what I'm gonna answer that question. But I'm gonna answer it. This is how I answer that question. It's not about whether I feel that I'm better or not, but it's what I know. Hold on. You asked me a question. Let me answer it. I'm not gonna say that I'm better, but I know I want better for my family and for my seed. So when I have kids, so guess what? If it means waiting to bust a nut inside of a woman to have a kid, so be it. If it means that I gotta make a little bit more money and maybe move to Marietta, Georgia, or somewhere in Raleigh, North Carolina to raise these kids, so be it. But I know I want better. So guess what? So as a black man, or not even as a black man, as a man, period, I'm gonna tell my life based off the people I see who have successful lives.
So you're basically saying that you don't plan on having kids anytime soon. What is it? Okay, do you want to be married?
Well, no. Let's just stick to the subject at hand. Because you cut me off right when I was Hold on, no. Because you cut me off. No, you cut me off in the middle of what I was saying. It's very no. No. We're not gonna have a debate like this. If we're gonna have a debate like this, no. You ask me a question, but brother, man, you can't ask me a question. But when I give you the question, when I answer the question the way you don't like, now you want to move the goalpost.
I asked. Do you want to get married?
So no, hold up. Let me finish my statement, and then I'll answer my marriage question. Before I can even answer me getting married, the first thing I'll do is I'll look at who has successful relationships. I know this in America. Hold up. I have to look at who has successful relationships and why.
Okay.
My dad, luckily, right, he ended up marrying my mom, thank Lord, right, and had us, right? So I know this much. In order for my kids to have the best optimum life possible, I'm going to want to be with a woman and stay with that woman.
Mm-hmm.
So whether I have to legally marry her or not, and I have to be honest with you, I'm against legal marriage. Why? Because of the fact that women are too volatile. But I'm willing to be in a long-term relationship. I want to have a woman basically live with me and we take care of our kids, no problem. So I would like to do it like how the Hebrew brothers do. And, I would like to keep the state out of my marriage.
Okay. So what do you do for a living?
That's irrelevant.
Okay. what do you bring to the table of marriage?
Well, I tell you this much: I bring everything that she don't got.
Do you have health insurance?
I do.
You do?
And look, and I just say this much too. Even if I didn't have health insurance, it wouldn't even matter because guess what? If something really majorly happens to you, your health insurance from your employer is probably not going to cover it anyway.
Okay. I'm talking about childbirth, but you want to say my leg got cut off. You have health. Do you have life insurance?
I tell you this much. I tell you this much. I do.
Okay.
But let me ask a question. What does that have to do with your questioning today when you asked me about the fact that I was blaming a black woman when it was the black woman who showed that she was going to be strong and independent, but then the strong and independent black woman still had to send her kids to go pick up her own kids.
Because I'm trying to understand why. You're thinking this way.
What is my life? What does my life and my marriage have to do with? Let's stick to the subject. What does that have to do with the relevance?
Right. I'm trying to understand why you're thinking this way. Why you're a 43-year-old man.
Think about why
never been married, blah blah blah. And that'll get to the bottom of why you're blaming this woman for her son.
No.
You said that he's doing the motherly duties, which circles back to the first thing that I said at the beginning. How are you as non-father going to determine and dictate what this woman has done with her children when it comes to go being an older sibling to pick up the younger sibling? I mean, you clearly don't understand.
I don't know what part you understand about this, Alan. That is not her. Look.
You also don't take therapy.
As a black boy, as a black adolescent young man, it is not his job to be picking up his siblings from anywhere.
It was a favor for his mama.
The fuck, what is for favor? Favor? No.
So you never did a favor?
No. See, that's the thing, and that's another thing too. That's the problem too. Ain't no fucking favors. Ain't no favors. Look, she brought him into the world, not the other way around. He should be playing basketball. He should be in a band practicing or something like that. He should not be going around being. Look, as a matter of fact, the boy's sexuality is even questionable as well.
Wow.
Because you don't have his father. Look, because you don't have his father around. The boy got shot.
You're getting all his information now, but you don't want to bring out your information. I mean, that's the
bottom line is his mother is the one on the news crying about how the boy is crying a bucket of tears, but yet she does not want to hold the accountability of the fact that she's the one who sent him to go pick up the boys anyway when she decided to play strong and independent.
I'm sure she held herself.
If she's not strong and independent, she needs to go and get the child's fathers, and the child's fathers need to go pick up the kids. Because guess what? The child's fathers being adults probably would have been smart enough to not just walk in some stranger's yard. Probably would have been smart enough to call and say, you know what, bring my kids outside. Or you know what, don't even have my kids in no strange person's house. Let me get my kid. I guarantee that those kids' fathers would love to have time with those kids. But guess what? The mom rather keep those kids away to go get some unemployment, to get some damn Section 8 and some damn welfare benefits. And you know what?
Is that a true statement?
What does that have to do with anything? Can you not just say, brother man, you can get Section 8 benefits, food stamps, and child support and still work? What are you talking about?
I'm asking you. Did you work?
You're asking me, but you're asking something
that. Do you have that as a fact?
That's irrelevant because guess what?
That is very relevant because you're making this the reason why she's on her fat black ass and sending her kids to go do her job.
Bruh, you can still get unemployment. You can still get Section 8. You can still get WIC. You can still get welfare. You can still get child support and have a full-time job. That's irrelevant. The bottom line is she decided to chase a career and put her son in harm's way so he could go pick up some damn kids. Here's what to do. Like, fine. Let's just say, nothing happens. Because let's just be real. A lot of kids go pick up their siblings and nothing bad always happens per se. But dude, the bottom line is, when are black women gonna stop kicking the black men out of the house, or stop kicking the father out of the relationship with kids? That way they don't need to have any babysitters because you only need a babysitter if you don't have any parents, bruh. Because, bruh, the only person who babysitted me was like my older cousins, and that was when my parents used to go out to like date night and little bullshit like that. But it wasn't every fucking weekend. It wasn't every day. It was once in a blue moon. Why? Because they knew. Look, my parents didn't even let me even spend a night at people's houses because you know what? They know that it only takes 5 to 10 minutes for your kid to be molested in someone else's possession. And guess what? Our kids are coming out to be gay. Our kids are coming out. They want to be transsexuals. They want to be sex workers. They want to be pronouns. They want to be all these things other than themselves. And you know what? One main ingredient that's missing in these black households: black fathers. Why? Because the mother chooses to chase that bag than to give these kids a fair chance and give them parents. So, miss me with the who hurt you stuff and, all typical things that, most black women would say, because I'm only sticking to the facts here. The bottom line is the one thing that you don't want to admit, the one thing that, ain't nothing, look, and there's one thing that you brought up, and I kind of wanted to chime in on this. You said that if the mother went to pick him up, she could have been shot herself. Guess what? It would have been better that she got shot than for him to get shot any fucking day. Why? Because she lived her life. She lived her life. She made her poor decisions. So guess what? She should have got that bullet, not him.
Ouch.
Bro, I'm keeping it real with you, dog. Like I ain't one of these little fake ass motherfucking pop-up dudes with the bullshit. I'm gonna be real. And guess what? Jewish people don't have a bunch of other people. Don't go switching and hiding the kids from the father and stuff like that. When Jewish people break up, if anything, they'll have dual custody. They're not gonna go try to get Section 8 benefits and welfare benefits.
Because he couldn't tolerate her attitude.
Bullshit.
It was the fact that she put him out. It wasn't the fact that he left. She had to put him out because she chose the bag.
Usually that's the case.
Usually, but
hey,
statistically, we talking facts, right?
Bro, we are starting to talk facts. Statistically, when man and woman break up, it's usually the woman's choice why they break up.
It's usually the woman's choice why they broke up?
Yeah. Okay. Usually that's the choice.
Okay.
Don't tell me about you. Don't tell me about you and your situation. I'm talking about statistically. Statistically, when you look at the statistics of divorce, most of people that initiate divorce are women.
Yeah, I believe the statistic on that when it comes to the numbers. Yeah, I got you on that note. But is that this particular case?
Brother, at the end of the day, I can still make a generalization because at the end of the day, the boy clearly has a father. When he got shot, the dad came out. That was when the dad came out, right? And I was like, okay, now the dad, but I realized that the dad was even the dad for all the kids. The dad was only the dad for Ralph. That's child. Look. At the end of the day, I don't need to know anyone's situation to see the black and white picture. Like for example, cops. When someone ends up getting their life taken and stuff like that, the cops, it's not very hard for the cops to figure out who it is because they know usually when someone gets their life taken, it's usually for someone that they know. So they check the wife, they check the husband, they check the boyfriend, they check the girlfriend, they check the family members because they know there's a certain usual suspects and there's a certain MO. So maybe the dad was a dirtbag and maybe he left. But we all know generally in the hood, the woman changes her mind about the father, and that catapults everything. And she's the one who has the custody of the children.
It was not staying in the hood. That area is a suburb.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't fucking matter.
Okay.
Doesn't matter because this what you don't have to be in the hood to get benefits, bro. I don't have to live in the ghetto to still get child support. I don't have to live in the ghetto to get child support. I don't need to live in the hood to get child support, bro. I don't need to live in the hood to get WIC benefits. I don't even need to live in the hood. I don't even need to live in the hood to get Section 8 vouchers. As
you
long
giving
as the apartment building takes Section 8, I can live anywhere I want.
You give an unrealistic statement without facts, and you just shooting off at the pistol because you can.
What have I said that was unrealistic? The only thing that you could debate about being realistic is the fact that the only thing you could say is, I don't know her situation. I don't have to know her situation. I don't have to, because guess what? Most black women would do anything that they can to keep the kids away from the father. Prime example, she had the kids at a strange person's location instead of having those kids at the father's house.
Strange
or with
to
the
who?
father. Look, or with the father's family.
Strange to who?
All right, so strange to the point that Ralph didn't know where the fuck he was and he got shot, brother.
Okay, so this is where I'm going back.
Right,
You know the difference between
the bottom line is that she had sex with a man and had a child. Why couldn't she send the child to the father or to the father's family?
Street, terrace, or place, or lane, or you know, I make that mistake as an adult with GPS in my hand. I'm sure she probably make that mistake.
Like I said, that's why you go do your job as a parent, not send your kids.
Okay.
Because guess what? You can make that mistake. And just, look, bro, I'm from LA. I'm from LA. Look, I'm from a place. I'm from a place where if you drive down the wrong alley, if you drive down the wrong alley for the wrong reason, you will be murdered or shot down. Okay? But guess what? Hey, Alan, have you ever heard? Have you ever heard what you don't know can kill you? Have you ever heard what you don't know can kill you?
What you don't know will kill you.
What you don't know can kill you. Have you ever heard that?
Of course, yeah.
All right. And what almost happened to Mr. Ralph Y'all?
Do what now?
What happened to Mr. Ralph Y'all? What happened to the young boy, the 16-year-old boy? You don't know his name? Ralph Y'all.
An old senile man. Yes, that's what happened. That's what happened. Somebody probably, they didn't even know who was on the fucking neighborhood, didn't know he was on the block, didn't know he was around the corner. He got shot by an old senile ass man. Now let's go back. You say it's not racism. We're calling it racism. We're calling it parents.
I don't know what it is, but I know one thing. I know he wouldn't have got shot if he wouldn't have been playing the son husband. I know that is one fact. That is one fact. That is one undeniable fact that you cannot take away from this conversation. You could say it doesn't matter whether you feel that it was right or wrong or whether you did it as a youth. The bottom line is that he did it. He only got shot because he was there doing his mom's bidding.
Okay.
Because if mom was married and she stayed with the father, she could have picked up the kids or not even had the kids.
Could have very well sent them over there anyway. If you want to be wise scoped about it, he could have still walked over there anyway.
Bottom line is that this is what happens when you have other people watch your kids. When you have a father who could have watched them kids. Or you could have watched them kids. The father could have went to work and you could have watched them kids your damn self. But guess what? You want to be strong, you want to be independent.
Questions. I'm trying to figure out where you're getting this information from because it's unrealistic.
What information do you want me to tell you? What do I need to tell you? The evidence is clearly there. The mom wasn't there because she was busy doing something else. So so guess what?
You don't know family. You know a childhood, but put it like this: your parents were still young adults who had you.
That's irrelevant. Let's talk about the facts here. The bottom line is that the boy went there because the mom was busy at work, or the mom was too busy to go.
You gotta
do. The mom was too.
What you say, your words mean something.
The mom was too busy to pick up the child. So guess what? By proxy, that means that she could not do her job, and you don't want to admit that. You was going to say, "Well,
she cannot
do her
job."
Pick up the kids. I'm not saying whether the kids or shouldn't be the kids. I'm saying that if the boy was not doing his mom's bidding, he would not have gotten shot, and that is an undeniable fact.
Okay.
If the mother decided, look, if the mother, like most black women, or most women who chose to kick the father out of the relationship or out of the kids'
Y'all
lives, and they're choose to
really,
have the share custody with a child, the
and
boy
I think
wouldn't have been
y'all
in
mentioned
this situation. Why? Look, why they look, hold on, hold on.
Kevin
The
gave
Carl,
everybody.
look,
Y'all
Ralph,
definitely missed the message, and you're definitely hating the wrong people to the point where instead of using your power for good, you're using your power to keep this little bit of fame that you got or whatever you got going, starting your podcast or your YouTubes to keep that
nah.
going
See,
and still want to point at
your problem is I'm telling you the facts and you can't
because
correct me.
something
You
happened in
haven't
their
corrected me yet.
relationship that
All you're
ain't
telling me
none of
is
y'all
if,
business.
ands, and what if. The bottom line is I know the facts. The boy, look, the
None of y'all
16-year-old boy was
business.
there to pick up his 2 siblings. Why? Because the mother was incapable of doing her job, which is taking care of her kids.
Okay.
And because of her inability of taking care of her kids, her oldest son got shot and was almost killed.
Okay.
So that is so my YouTube fame and whatever that is really irrelevant at this point.
It really
Because
is.
because see, my brother, man,
Brother,
why you talking dude, why you talking like a black woman? Why you talking like a single
you
mother raised black woman, dude? Why are you using their talking points? Because at this point, that is irrelevant. The bottom line is that black people, specifically black women, and our black mothers need to cut this independence bullshit. And they just need to just admit that they just need to admit they need a man instead of trying to make their 16-year-old boys become the man of the house. Because let's just be real. Let's just be real. That's
like I
look,
said again, you
only in the black neighborhoods do you hear that, oh, you're the man of the house now. You think they say that you think they say that in white neighborhoods? You're the man now? No, they don't. Only in black neighborhoods where the mother chooses not to be with the father, where you hear that bullshit.
You want a relationship to where you're the breadwinner, the mother stay home, take care of the kids, right?
That'll be fine. That'll be fine. I mean, to be honest with you,
so again,
that'll be
what
fine
are
with me.
you able to find a woman like this?
What?
What are you bringing to the table?
Look, I'm not. Look, like I said, that has nothing to do with your whole debate. But look, we're fine. Look, I answer the asinine, stupid question. Look, provide and protect. Because guess what? Without me, she couldn't provide, and she's damn near wouldn't be able to protect.
And there you go. You're blaming her. That's
no, did you hear what? See, that's the thing. You're arguing to be right. You're not debating to state your point. I just answered your question. You asked me what I provide to a woman, and I said I could provide. I could provide shelter. Look, I can provide shelter, and I can provide protection. That's what I can provide her, and I can provide her wisdom. What else do you want me to tell you?
There's a lot more.
Let me ask a question. Let me ask a question, my brother Allen. Was that enough criteria to provide for a woman, or am I not, or did I fail in some type of measurement?
That might be why you're 43 years old, still married, no kids.
So let me ask a question. So you're married, right?
No, I used to be married.
You used to be married.
Yeah.
So guess what? So that means you're a bigger loser than I am. Because guess what? Because guess what? Like, hold on. See, you took a jab. Look, you took a jab at me. You took a jab at me. So I'm gonna take a friendly jab at you. Look, you took a friendly jab at me, so I'm gonna take a friendly jab at you. When I play a game, I play to win, not to lose. So that's why I've never been married. But you played. And look, no. You played the game and you lost. Look, you played the game and you lost, and you're still losing because you're paying child support. How are you more experienced or better at that game at it than me?
Because I've been there before.
So because you've been there before, that means you're better at it?
Because I've been there before.
Maybe the person who's really better at it is the person who's smart enough not to even get into it in the first place.
Okay. Well, what the big guy say?
I don't know. You tell me.
What do we buy when we die alone?
What?
What do we buy? We buy when we die alone.
I don't know. You tell me.
I'm just asking.
I don't know. I told you, I don't know. You tell me.
Okay, because you were inexperienced. Even to even have this conversation.
All right. You asked me a question. You said, what do we buy when we die? And
Yeah.
I told you, I do not know. You tell
What?
me.
Okay.
And your answer to me was because I don't have an experience.
I guess apparently went over your head.
Oh, that was the answer. All right.
Telling
Okay. All right.
women to buy a dog and die alone. Okay, so
All right,
what does this men do when we buy a dog?
all right, okay. Now that you got me on that, now that you went over my head with that, and now that I understand what you're saying, what does that have to do with to what I just said to you? Because I chose not to play the marriage game, which is asinine and foolish in this day and age, and you played it and you lost. What does me having to die and me not having experience in look, what does me having I know this much I know this much about death. I've never been dead before, but I know one thing. I don't ever want to die. I know that much. I don't ever want to die. So guess what? So because I don't want to die, I make sure I go to the right address, and I make sure I don't go to strange neighborhoods. And I make sure I don't go do my mom's bidding. All right.
There you go. Are you too grown?
You asked me a question, I gave you the answer, bro.
You too grown. You too grown to die alone. So this is what I'm saying.
Too grown to die alone.
So
see, you're
never
wrong.
married, no
You're wrong
children,
because everybody dies alone. So let me ask you a question. So when you die, so look, when you die, do you think when you die, are your kids gonna feel your pain? Look, are your kids gonna feel your pain when you're dying? No, because you're gonna die alone. We all die. Look, we all die alone. The question is, do you have a lonely life? And bro,
1 second. Okay, so
I'm far from lonely, and I'm far from lonely, and I tell you this much. But having kids is not a flex because if I gotta go and have my kids get picked up by my siblings, then obviously I'm fucking up as a parent. Let me ask you a question. Do your kids pick up your kids?
Do my kids pick up the kids? They pick up themselves. They wipe their own ass, cook for themselves. They're very self-sufficient.
All right, okay. But you know what? Thank you for proving my point. Thank you for proving my point.
Okay. Yeah, they're very self-sufficient. Guess who did that?
You don't have to answer that because guess what? You didn't make your kids teach them that. You taught them that, didn't you?
I didn't make my kids teach them that. I taught them that. Like I taught my kids to be self-sufficient. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, but that's my point. You didn't make your oldest son teach the siblings that. You taught them that. You doing your fatherly duty. You didn't go send your kids to go pick up your kids from somebody else's house because you couldn't pick up your kids, bruh. Thank you for proving my point.
Nah, you took that left, but I get what you said.
I took that left? No, I took that right. That's what I did.
Put it like this. If I needed one to go pick up the other one, can you go pick up your little brother? Can you go, because by this time it's either car time or it's around the corner. I feel safe in the neighborhood. Yeah, can you go pick up this one? I'm running a little bit late for work. Yes, Dad, I'm going to do it. And you're unrealistic because you're talking about something that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Look, bruh, you double back on your whole point. I do know what the fuck I'm talking about. The whole point, the whole point. And here's another too. You can get personal and get all upset about it. By the end of the day, statistics still prove that most of the people who's incarcerated in jail were from single mother households. Mm-hmm. That doesn't change the fact that black women in our community, our main reason are single is because they chose to separate from the man so they can get benefits and claim this life of independence. That can be proven by statistics as well.
Being in an abusive relationship.
What?
What is the percentage of being in an abusive relationship?
I don't know, but I tell you this much.
What is
the brother, if you're gonna ask me a question, let me answer it like a man and stop cutting me off, bro. Let me answer the question.
You said I don't know. You answered it.
No. You thought I answered it because you wanted me to finish it, but I didn't finish answering it. My answer.
In school, teacher asks you a question, you say I don't know. Okay, carry on. Who knows the answer?
But I was answering. But that's a caveat. I was answering your question, but you literally cut me off and then start talking just to have your way. I didn't even say I don't know. That was not my last response.
Ooh, you making my head hurt.
You make your own head hurt.
I know, right? Just
At the end of the day, all right, let me ask, all right, so now that you asked me some questions, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question about the shooting of Ralph Yarl. Who sent him over to pick up his siblings?
Okay.
No, answer the question. Who sent him to pick up his siblings?
Apparently the mother did.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So by proxy, because she couldn't pick up the kids, right?
It's not the fact that if she couldn't, hell, we don't know
All right.
if she.
All right. He had to pick up the kids. He had to pick up. He had to pick. All right. Okay. All right. Let me rephrase it. Fine. Let me rephrase it. Let me rephrase it for you. Let me rephrase it for you. Did he have to pick up the kids because she did not? Did he attempt to pick up the kids because she did not? Yes or no?
Did he have to pick up the kids? Did he have to pick up the kids because she could not or did not?
Both.
Is that how you worded it?
Pick one. Pick one. Either or. Whichever makes you feel better, brother. Still the same answer.
Yes.
All right. So by proxy and by default, he got shot by a racist white man because the mom did not pick up her own kids, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So is that not her fault?
Is that not her fault?
All right. Let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that because I know you're going to be touched about fault. Did he not get into that situation because of her inability of being a full-time parent?
Yes. Question. I see your answer to a question. Okay, you ready?
Sure.
You put a sheep in the wolf's cage. Whose fault is it? Is it the sheep's fault, the wolf's fault, or is it the person that put him in the cage?
Well, the person who put him in the cage, the person who put him in the situation.
Okay. So the wolf goes free. You only get one shot.
No, your question was the wolf goes free? No, of course not. The wolf don't go free. So, all right.
That's
No. Look, hey, a matter of fact, not only does the wolf not go free, the wolf might even be, depending, since it's a wolf, it'll probably be put down.
So that's all I need from you. You're one-sidedness because your post said we're making this out to be a racist situation when all the while it's a mother situation.
Well, here's the thing. So we're moving the goalposts. Okay. We're gonna move the goalposts. Okay. Well, all right. Well, back to my statement. Because guess what? The guy, the 84-year-old man who you say is senile. See, he's senile, right? So maybe he's being senile. Maybe he's not being racist. But did he say the N-word or did he say any type of derogatory terms? How do we know it's racism?
We don't know. We don't know what he said.
But one thing we do know is that the mother was incapable of being a full-time parent and had to send the son to the man's house in the first place. Am I right or wrong?
You're right. But to the fact of, let's go back and let's say, how do we know he's racist, right? How do we know he's racist or not? My bad.
Well, yeah, because it's up for debate. We don't know whether he's racist or not.
Okay. What happened? Okay, so he's 83. What happened 72 years ago? He was 10.
Huh?
What happened 72 years ago?
I don't fucking know, man. I don't know. You tell me. I don't fucking know. 72 years ago
when the old white man was 10.
I don't fucking know. I don't know.
You hate your black women so much, you don't even know your history.
Okay. Basically, trying to say is the white man would have shot the black boy anyway out of racism. Is that what you're trying to say?
I mean, that's my only lead to saying, hey, it links it to racism.
All right. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard of the McCoys and have you ever heard about the Family Feud about the McCoys and the McGullas?
No.
Oh my God! You
So
see,
go
there
ahead,
you go. You don't know your American history.
enlighten
But all right,
me because
all right.
it's
Anyway,
so
all
many
right,
names.
all right,
There's so
all
many
right. Okay.
grandsons and fathers and grandpas. I mean, fuck, Rockefellers. You get what I'm saying? There's so many. You got to be more pinpoint direct about the shit.
All right. Oh God. Okay. Well, hey, you know what? If you don't know everything, that's okay. All right. There's that little TV show, Family Feud. Even though it's like, it's a family show, it's fun and stuff. Family Feud is really based off of the McCoys, of a real Family Feud that's still going on to this day, from the
Okay.
earlier times, from like the Western days, all the way up till now, where these two families, yeah, the McCoys and the Hatfields. There we go.
Okay.
Look, a famous. Hold on, listen to what I'm saying. Let me educate you. It's a famous family feud that's been going on in the United States from like probably since like the 1800s, since the 1900s. But basically, the McCoys and the Hatfields, they're both were white farmers, and they had a family feud that went on for like 200 plus years over like the fact that they just didn't like each other, man.
Okay.
And guess what? You know what it was over? Land.
Okay.
The Salem witch trial. The Salem witch trials.
Okay.
You know, of course, a lot of women got killed and stuff. But the men who got killed, you know why some of the men end up getting killed? Because there was a dispute over land. People have been fighting over land since biblical times, bruh. People get stupid when it comes to land. People do stupid things.
Of course.
So that's why I brought up the black guy shooting. That's why I brought up the black guy shooting the child. Because guess what? Is there a possibility that this guy, like you said, he's seen could it just be a possibility that he's just a fucking crazy son of a bitch instead of a racist son of a bitch?
Okay, so what made him shoot a 5'8", 140-pound black man?
Brother man, I don't know. But guess what? Do you know that? All right, you asked me a question. Can I answer it? I don't know, but this is my rebuttal to that. How do we know he did it because he was racist? Because he was white?
I'm sorry.
How do we know he did it because he was racism? Because he's white? How do we know that it was a hate crime?
Because it was what we both agreed on when the man was 10.
No. Well, oh. No. We did not agree. No.
The era.
Bro, we never agreed to that. When you brought it up, no.
We never agreed that he's 83 years old, 72 years ago when he was 10, that there was racism then?
This is why I said to you, this is my exact response to you, if you let me respond to you. When you said that to me, you said, this is what you said. Brother, let me just say what I got to say. You know what your response to me was? You said you hate black women so much that you don't know your history, right? My rebuttal to that was, I said, oh, you're talking about back in the, this is what I said. Oh, you're talking about back in the day, back in the day, right? But look,
go ahead. I
never agreed to you because my takeaway from that was I said, well, do you know about the Hatfields and the McCoys? The reason why I brought that up is because
give me some dates on the Hatfields and McCoys.
The reason why I bring up the Hatfields and the McCoys is because the Hatfields and the McCoys was two people who had a dispute over land because they had a land dispute.
Give me some
dates. My point was that you could go ahead and bring up slavery and racism all you want, but we know that people since the Hatfields and the McCoys been shooting people before there was even a KKK.
How does that?
People since the Bible, since the biblical days, have had problems with people going on people's land. So, do we not know this?
How does that help your statement that eliminates him from being racist?
My point is that people have been. My point is that he could have easily shot him because he was just a man on his land versus the fact that he was a black man on his land. You want to make it a black man? You want to make it a racist thing because that's what you feel. Look, because that's what you feel, but you don't have any facts to base off of it. What?
Would he have shot a white man? Would that 83-year-old man shot a white man on his front porch?
Maybe. Dude, yes. The Hatfields and the McCoys, motherfucker. The Hatfields and the McCoys were two white people who
Is he a
feuded with
is
each
he a
other
white
over
man?
land for
No, he wouldn't have shot
200
no
years
white dude.
in
He wouldn't have shot the
America. And
postman.
you're still
Otherwise, the
asking
postman
me
would
if
have
a
got
white man
shot
would shoot
2
another
years
white
ago.
man.
He wouldn't
Of
have shot
course, I
you.
live
He
in
had some
Florida.
addicts, guys.
White
He would
people,
have got
look,
shot 2 years
white
ago.
people shoot white people all the time in Florida, bruh.
Black
Man, I live in Florida. White people shoot
black
white
people
people
shoot
all the
white people all
time.
the time in
Black people
Florida.
shoot black people all the time.
You
Come on
said,
now.
you said
So,
black people
so,
shoot black people all the time, or white people shoot white people all the time?
oh,
They do.
oh,
That's something I don't know nothing about. Just like you don't know nothing about Kansas City, Missouri.
dude.
So
There are,
I asked you, would that
there's more
83-year-old
black, look,
white man shot a
there's more black on black crime
52,
than it is
32-year-old
white
white
on
man on
black
that front
crime.
porch?
And brother, and you know that's true. You know that's true.
There's more black people shooting black people?
Yes,
I know this. I'm asking you, would he have shot a white dude?
yes. The
Okay.
Hatfield
I'm not
and
gonna argue
McCoy.
with you. If that's how you
The
feel, that's your statement. That's
All
what
right,
it is.
but you know what? I don't understand. You asked me a question. Not only did I say yes, but I gave you an actual event where these
Right, and
white
I
people,
told you,
look, where
I
these
told
white
you
people,
okay, if
where
that's
these
how
white
you feel.
people historically were shooting each other for like 150 to 200 years over land, and you still asking me if a white man would shoot another white man over land. Of course. See, you made this an emotional debate when I'm just sticking to the facts. And yo,
It's not
all
emotional at all, man.
all my videos, all my posts is based off of fact, not off of feelings.
So
It's
you're saying that
fact
he would have shot
over feelings
a
over
white dude.
here,
So he basically
homeboy.
would have shot anybody. He would have shot
Yo, at
a
this point, yo,
6-year-old little white girl. He would have definitely shot a Mexican. He would have probably shot a Chinese dude.
bruh. Check this out. There's a thing called what is it called? Oh, when there's a reduced lack on no, what is it? Anyway, bruh. You know what? At this point, we already had this debate. We already debated what we already discussed that we said we was gonna debate about. I mean, at this point, it's about it, and it's getting a little late, and I got an early day tomorrow, so I'm gonna call it a night.
All right.
All right.
Yep.